My name is Nira, and I have always hated schools at night. Maybe because of the silence, maybe because of the shadows, or maybe because of the stories whispered in classrooms, stories that no teacher dared to confirm, yet no student dared to deny. The school I attended was over 100 years old. It was built during the colonial period, its red brick walls cracked with age, its staircases echoing with forgotten footsteps. Everyone in my class knew the tales: the ghost in the abandoned library, the headless teacher who haunted the music room, the cursed bathroom stall on the third floor, and the girl who jumped from the roof after being bullied. But one night, curiosity led us deeper than we ever should have gone. It began when my friends and I stayed after hours to prepare decorations for the annual school fair. The sun dipped low, and shadows stretched across the classrooms like dark stains. I remember clearly how the janitor, an old man with one cloudy eye, warned us, "Children, go home before sunset. This school doesn't belong to the living at night." His words should have been enough, but we laughed nervously, pretending not to believe him. Deep down, each of us carried a piece of fear, a memory of the stories we had been told. By the time the clock struck 7:30, the corridors were empty. Only the five of us remained. Me, my best friend Pim, the mischievous boy Art, the quiet one named Fawn, and the new transfer student Chai. Pim was the one who challenged us. She said, "Let's test the legends. If we're brave, we can finally prove that ghosts don't exist." Her words stirred something dangerous inside us. None of us wanted to look like cowards, especially in front of Chai. And so, one by one, we agreed. That night, we would uncover the truth behind the school tales. The first tale, the cursed library. The library had been locked for years after a fire broke out, killing a girl who was trapped inside. People said her spirit still lingered, her burned hands scratching at the shelves, her hollow voice whispering for help. We found the door sealed with rusty chains. Art grinned, pulled out a hairpin, and fiddled with the lock. The chain rattled, loud in the still hallway, and finally gave way. The smell hit us immediately, a mix of smoke, dust, and something rotten. Inside, books lay scattered and blackened by fire. Broken shelves leaned against one another, casting crooked shadows. Pim dared me to call out. I swallowed hard and whispered, "Is anyone here?" For a long moment, nothing happened. Then scratch, scratch, scratch. It came from the far corner. Fawn clutched my arm, trembling. Chai raised his phone's flashlight, and the beam landed on a single book lying open on the floor. Its pages fluttered though no wind blew. I forced myself forward, heart hammering, and when I picked it up, I nearly screamed. The words were written in blood-red ink. "You should not have entered." Suddenly, the shelves groaned, toppling towards us. We screamed and ran, books flying everywhere, and just as we stumbled out, the door slammed shut behind us with a force no human could have managed. We didn't speak as we hurried down the corridor, but in my mind, I heard the whisper of a girl. "Don't leave me." The second tale, the headless teacher. The music room was next. Legend said a strict teacher once punished a student so harshly that the boy cursed her. Days later, she was found dead, decapitated by the very piano wires she used to bind her students' hands. Since then, people claimed her ghost still roamed the room, headless, searching for her missing body part. The room smelled of mildew. The grand piano sat in the middle, its keys yellow with age. The moment we stepped in, the lid slammed shut on its own. "Stop joking." Pim snapped at Art, but Art looked pale. It wasn't me. Then we heard it, the sound of chalk screeching across the blackboard. Slowly, glowing letters appeared. "Detention forever." Fawn whimpered, covering her mouth. Suddenly, a figure emerged from the shadows, her body clad in a tattered teacher's uniform, but where her head should have been, there was only dripping darkness. She staggered forward, piano wires dangling from her fingers like sharp whips. We bolted for the door, but it wouldn't budge. The ghost raised her hand, and the wires lashed out, cutting across Chai's arm. He cried out in pain, blood soaking his sleeve. Desperate, I slammed my fists on the door, screaming for help. Finally, it burst open, and we tumbled into the hallway, gasping for breath. When I looked back, the music room was dark, silent, and empty, as though nothing had ever happened. The third tale, The cursed bathroom stall. By now, fear was sinking into our bones, but Pim refused to stop. One last story, she insisted. Then we'll know for sure. The girls' bathroom on the 3rd floor was said to be cursed. They said a bullied student had drowned herself there, and if you knocked 3 times on the last stall at midnight, she would answer. The bathroom was cold, tiles cracked, the smell of mold thick in the air. We stood in front of the last stall. My reflection in the cracked mirror looked pale, almost unfamiliar. Pim raised her fist and knocked 3 times. At first, nothing. Then tap, tap, tap. The sound came from inside. We froze. Slowly, the stall door creaked open. Darkness spilled out like ink. Inside, there was no one, just a pool of water spreading across the floor. Then, the lights flickered. The water rose unnaturally, filling the stall, and from its depths, a pale hand shot out, grabbing Pim's wrist. Pim screamed as a figure pulled itself upward, a girl with long, wet hair covering her face, her skin bloated, eyes wide with endless sorrow. We yanked Pim back with all our strength, tearing her free. The stall door slammed shut with a deafening bang, and the lights went out. When they flickered back on, the bathroom was bone dry. No water, no ghost. But Pim's wrist bore a handprint, bruised deep into her skin. The final tale, the rooftop.